friends, it's Leah, and I am live in Texas. Bear with me because I'm using my hotspot, so I noticed that it's kind of a little glitchy here and there, but I think we'll be okay. Make sure I have this all turned off so we don't get any weird echoing. All right. Well, hi friends, welcome to our Tuesday YouTube Live. Today I'm going to be making a fun rainbow themed card using our new nested stars, both the hot foil plates and the dies. I currently have my hot foil machine turned on and it's getting all heated up so that when I get the camera flipped around, we will be ready to go. I see that Heather has jumped on. She is the person behind the Pinkfresh Studio account, and she will be moderating in the comments today. So once I get the camera flipped around, I don't see as many comments, but Heather is really good about catching as much as she possibly can. If we both miss your comment or question, we aren't ignoring you, just ask it again because we both likely just missed it. So if you're new here, let us know. We love to welcome you. I'm going to give you a group welcome because I probably won't see it once I get going crafting, but we're happy that you found us and we hope that you enjoy your first live with Pinkfresh Studio. All right, now we give away a $15 gift card code at the end of every live. So Heather will pick that winner at the end. We pick it randomly, and there are a couple of different ways to get entries into the giveaway. First off, just do what you're doing now. You are chatting in the live chat. You can ask questions, you can leave comments, you can chat with your fellow viewers. And every single time you leave a comment, that is just an additional entry into the giveaway. Now, somewhere on here, there's an arrow button and it says share next to it. And if you click on that, if you share it, you can share it in an email if you have like a Crafty Friends email list, or you can share it on your Facebook page. You can also share it in a Facebook group if it's allowed. Just make sure it's allowed. There are some groups that don't love that. So keep that in mind. And then once you do that, just come and let us know in the comments that you shared, and that acts as an extra entry. Well, I see we have quite a few people have joined us. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. As I mentioned, I'm working remotely from Texas right now, but I will be back to Minneapolis next week. So I will be coming to you live from there. Renee, there's no reason to be nervous. Welcome. Just enjoy watching a card being created and chatting with your fellow crafters in the live chat. All right, so excited to have you guys here. So one final thing before I do get my camera flipped around, we would love for you guys to give the video a thumbs up. That helps the reach of the video both now and upon the replay. So it's super helpful when you do that. So if you guys could do that when you have a minute, we would love that. Okay. My hot foiling platform is still heating up, but it shouldn't be too much longer. So we can go ahead. I can start getting my video and all of that flipped around. And I see it actually just clicked. It was ready. So let's go ahead and get going. All right. Now, because I'm working remotely in Texas, I have to do a little bit of shifting. So give me a minute while I get my laptop and such out of the way. I just don't want to jerk any of the cables out of it. So I'm going to try to be quite delicate as I do this. All right. So as you can see, foiling machine is warmed up and it's ready to go. Hi, Donna. Happy to see you today. And today we are going to do some foiling with the new nested stars. Scoot up to my desk a little bit. Sorry if this shakes a little. All right, so if you are new to foiling at all, basically I am demonstrating on a Spellbinders Glimmer hot foil system. There are a couple of other hot foil systems on the market, but this is the one that I am most familiar with. And basically today, we are just going to do some rainbow foiling. So to answer your question, Jen, the best recommendation we have for hot foiling machines is based on the die cut machine that you currently offer. So the Spellbinders Glimmer hot foil system works with a set selection of die cut machines. There's the Gemini version, which I believe only works with the Gemini Junior, and then the larger Gemini, as long as I think you have to purchase like an extra platform. And then there is the other hot foil system on the market. I think it's by the company Couture Creations, and I think it has its own list of die cut machines that work with it. So your best bet is to find the hot foil machine that works with your die cut machine. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to get our stars, our nested stars, onto our hot foil plate. So I'm here to show you today that I did accidentally foil one of my nested stars while I was working on samples, and it still totally works. Now you can take this off with 100% acetone, but it's not necessary. If your hot foil plate will still work even if you have accidentally foiled it. So keep that in mind. All right, so I am not too worried about the hot foil plates being perfectly centered because I am going to end up die cutting them all out. But I've put the stars on my machine, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit my timer button. And while the hot foil plates are heating up, I'm going to go ahead and cut out some foil. So today we're going to use this fabulous rainbow foil. I don't know if we have ever shown it in a live, but I've noticed here that this has a little imperfection in it. So I'm going to trim away that imperfection. I probably won't throw it away because I can add a smaller hot foil plate like a sentiment in there and still use it, but I want that to accidentally get any of, that to be a part of any of my stars. So I'm going to trim that little imperfection away. I'll set it aside and use it for something else. And then I'm going to go ahead and trim a larger piece of foil. I think I need it to be about 4.5 to 5 inches. So I'm going to go on the safe side and do 5 inches for this panel. All right. Hi, friends. So glad that you guys are joining us today. All right. So we have our foil, and we can see that our foil machine is all ready to go. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and get my platinum up on my desk so that it is ready to run the plate through once I'm ready to go. So I like to remove the actual hot foil part from the base. And if I need to take a couple of adjustment stars, I can. That one seemed to work totally fine. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put this rainbow foil top of the stars. And you want to put your foil pretty side down. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my cardstock down over top of it as well. I just realized that I forgot to grab my plates. So give me 1 second here. Hopefully I'm not letting this lose too much heat. If so, we can just do it again. No worries. But let's try it and see. Okay, so I'm just going to take it over to my platinum sticks. I don't know how much of this you can actually see, but I think you'll get to see a little bit of it. I did put my camera up a little bit higher to allow for a little bit more desk coverage when we're doing all of the foiling. All right. So let's look and see how this went. It actually went well. We actually got a little bit of overfoiling on it, which is okay because I think that it will just wipe right away. Yep. There are a couple of places where it's not fully wiping away, but I'm going to show you something with that. And that is, there are these lovely sand erasers out there that you can get, and you can actually erase away a little bit of that excess foiling. And it's possible that this kind of skipped on my, when I was putting the foil down, I feel like I did kind of move it a little bit. So it's possible that's what happened. This is a super fun result. The rainbow foil is really fun. So what I'm going to say is I am going to end up throwing my solid plate onto my platform, and we are going to foil the reverse. If you notice, though, I did have a little bit of overfoiling. So I don't know that the reverse foil is going to be perfect, but I think that's okay. I think that we can embrace the imperfections, and considering this is handmade and not Hallmark, that's going to be okay. All right, so I erased that little bit of overfoiling as much as I can, and now we have some beautiful rainbow stars. And now give me a minute while I take these stars off of my machine. Now I forgot the little tool that you take these off with, so I don't recommend doing this because they are hot. Definitely use the little tool, but I didn't have it with me. And go ahead and grab, I'm going to go ahead and grab my solid plate. We're going to get this heating up. Now, the solid plate needs to heat up a couple of times. So while it's heating up, I am going to go ahead and start die cutting these stars out so that we're not just sitting here waiting for this machine to fully heat up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this just one die at a time. I think a few weeks ago I showed with one of our other nesting sets that you can line them all up. It's just a little fussy. And so I think for this time around, I'm going to show you guys how I'm just going to die cut them one at a time. Even though I nested them together, I'm just going to take my time and die cut them one at a time as we go. Let's make sure that didn't move on me. Sure didn't. Yes, someone asked if you can use your dies to foil, and you certainly can. Keep in mind that the cutting lines on dies are super thin. So the foiling is going to look a little different. It's going to be quite subtle, but you absolutely can foil with your dies, which just gives you even another, another added option for doing that die cutting. All right, I'm not going to put too much tape on this one because we don't want it to mess up the foiling at all. All right, so real quick, you'll notice that my timer has gone off for the solid plate, but I like to heat the solid plate up twice. So I'm going to remove the hot foil plate from the base and plug it back in. It won't take too long for it to say that the platform is ready. And then I'll hit that timer one more time, and then we will be ready to go. So here's our first fun rainbow star frame that we got. So as you can see, the light came back on. So I'm going to hit that timer. And so what we have found is that we feel hitting the timer button twice is the perfect amount of heat up time for the solid timer. Now that's on the Spellbinder's Glimmer machine. The Gemini foil press, I believe you can set the time. So, and the best bet for that is just to do a little troubleshoot and find what works best. Oh, thanks, guys. I'm glad you're enjoying the stars. And Heather did mention the video quality. I'm hoping that it's still good, even though it is quite dark here in Texas, but we turned on pretty much every single light that there is in this house to try to help the darkness. So I know that there's a little bit of shadowing, but it was better to have a little bit of shadowing than to just cancel due to darkness. So hopefully the video quality and all of that is still coming through. All right, I'm just gonna finish the die cutting. I'm gonna let the solid hot foil plate just continue to heat up here. You can never really have too much heat. And then we're gonna do a couple of fun things with the solid plate. We are going to reverse foil the rainbow stars. I'm gonna be honest, I don't always get the best results with the rainbow foiling when it comes to reverse foiling, but we are certainly going to try it and just see what happens. And if it's not perfect, that's a-okay, but we can at least say we tried. And then we're going to reverse foil just a full solid panel of foil, because that is what I'm going to cut my die cut sentiment out of today. All right, we just got this little teeny tiny star left to cut out. And then we can get on to some solid foiling. Oh, thanks, Heather. Thanks for letting me know that. Crystal, I'm actually not at an Airbnb. I'm actually at my in-laws' house in Texas. And Teresa, it's just we have kind of some dark storm clouds in Texas, even though it's not really storming. We just have the clouds from it. So that's why my area is just a tad dark today. Okay, so we're not done die cutting, but I am going to set the die cutting aside for now, because we are going to track back over to doing some foiling. So let's go ahead and put our platinum back up on our desk here. And let's grab some cardstock. And we are going to reverse foil this rainbow stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove the plate from the base. I am going to put the rainbow piece face down on that solid hot foil plate. And then I'm going to put my cardstock down, smoothest side available. I am using my tried and true 100-pound Hammermill white cardstock. But we have found that there are lots of cardstock options that you can use. We just really like this one. So for my solid plate, I am going to run it through back and forth. Typically for my normal hot foil plate, I run them through the one way, but I like to make sure that I get a really good amount of pressure on that image with the solid plate. So I like to run it through back and forth. I feel the need to do it more times than that, but we want to at least do it those 2 times. So let's go ahead and take a look at how, like I mentioned, I don't always get the greatest results with the rainbow foil for some reason, but we're going to take a look and see. Now we can see it's a little fuzzy in some areas right up there, but all in all, it actually did pretty well. There's a little fuzz right there. You know, I can either cut those stars out or put a border over top of it if I want to use it as is. And in the end, I'm actually pleasantly impressed with how that turned out. So I think that's super fun. Okay, so I'm just going to set this aside because I'm not going to use this on my card today, but I wanted to at least show you guys how fun that is. All right, so our platform is ready. Let's hit the timer button one more time on our solid plate. I'm going to just get the platinum out of the way for a second because I want to create an entire panel of foil because that's what I'm going to cut my sentiment from. And you may be asking, you know, why don't you just cut your sentiment from some gold foil paper? And you certainly can. But I really wanted to get this iridescent gold, which is the aura colored foil. and which I don't have in any type of foil paper. So this is a perfect way to be able to use a sentiment die, but also with all of the color of foils that you have at your disposal. Oh, you're welcome, Jennifer. I'm glad you enjoyed seeing the reverse foiling process. Rose, I'm actually using Spellbinder's hot foil system right now. This is their Glimmer hot foil system, and it works with many different die cut machines, which I believe that they have listed on their website. I also wanted to mention while we're doing this that we actually do offer the Glimmer hot foil system in our online shop as well, along with some foils. We are building our foil inventory as Spellbinders has them available. Okay, so the timer is done, meaning the solid hot foil plate is hot enough and we can go ahead and use it. I just lost all the comments. There we go, they're back. So I'm gonna pull it from the base. I'm gonna put that of Aura gold foil directly down onto the solid hot foil plate. And then I'm just put my white cardstock down on top of it. Add to that come with your hot foil system. And then same as before, we're going to run it back and forth, nice and slow through your die cut machine. Now, my die cut machine is relatively new, friends. So because of that, I don't need any paper shims to give added pressure. Dependent upon, you know, the age of your die cut machine and the pressure that it offers, you may have to add a paper shim here and there. So just make sure you troubleshoot that when you're foiling. And Heather and I have some great classes in the foiling playlist on our YouTube channel here that you can check out for more information on stuff like that. So let's take a look and see how this turned out. And the great thing is if this hadn't turned out, I could have just put the release plastic back on and we could have run it through again, but I actually got perfect results. So look at how rainbowy and shiny that is. Now it's reflecting off of lights in the ceiling. That's why it has all of those crazy rainbows in it. But it doesn't always look like that, like when you're looking at it in some. It's really cool to see that. Ooh, all right, I'm gonna put my platinum away. I'm going to get the solid plate off of my foil system here. Now, once again, these get really hot, so I don't suggest doing it this way, but now I can grab it with the little cooling thing. Now, one tip that Heather and I have found is if you put your hot foil plates on a glass mat, they actually cool off much quicker. Like the stars are already 100% cool and ready to be put away. It just allows you to put your products away sooner, clean up your desk a little bit quicker. So you can use the lovely mat that comes with it, but we have found that we do like to put it on our glass mats because they cool off a little bit quicker. I'm going to go ahead and turn my foil machine off because I don't need it anymore. So I'm going to unplug it and set it aside so it can cool as well. And then we will get going on getting this card assembled. So I'm going to put away the stars as well, since they have had plenty of time to cool. Yes, Trina, isn't the Aura foil gorgeous? I love the rainbow iridescent finish that it has, and I actually haven't seen that in a foil paper. I mean, it's likely out there. I just haven't seen it anywhere. But I love that I can just create my own with all of the rolls of Aura foil I have. Or, you know, you can do that with all, you know, any foil color. So I really love that the solid plate gives you that ability. So while we're letting this cool off, yes. Oh yeah, Malvina, that's right. I could have used my Misty magnet. I have my Misty put away because I wasn't planning on using it today. So I didn't even think about that, but that was good thinking. I could have definitely used my Misty magnet to pull off the pieces. All right, so my sentiment is from I'm pulling out an oldie. It is from the Essentials Classic Words die set. This is one of the first sentiment die sets that we came out with, and it's definitely a bestseller. So I thought I would break it out again today because I really wanted to use this word celebrate for my card. With how happy the rainbow foiling is, I thought that turning it into a celebrate card, which could be used for a birthday or graduation or really anything, would be a perfect fit. Oh, thanks, Jocelyn. I appreciate that. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take the scripted sentiment. So with the sentiments in this set, you get both the scripted sentiment and you get a nice, lovely shadow layer. Now I've gone ahead and I've already cut the shadow layer from vellum, and I cut a couple of layers of the scripted word just from white cardstock to give it a little bit of dimension. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to take the celebrate word, if I can get it untangled here, and I'm going to cut that from this foil paper that I created. Now I don't want to put any icky impressions on this, so I am going to trim just down to the piece of foil that I need, because then I can use this piece of foil that I created for other sentiments or other cuts. So I'm going to now just run this through my machine real quick. Cindy, I'm not completely sure what you're asking about if we have in our store. If you're asking if we have the foil and the Glimmer system, we do offer that in our store. And actually both of the foils that I used today, the rainbow and the aura, are in there. And all of the products that I'm using today are linked in our video. The only thing that should be out of stock is the solid hot foil. And if that's something you're interested in purchasing, your best bet is to sign up for a restock notification, because I do know it's on reorder and hopefully will be here soon. Oh, Candy, I love to hear that. They were your first Pinkfresh purchase. It's such a good set. I love it. I believe someone asked about smooth cardstock. Yes, any smooth cardstock should work for foiling. The smoother the better, and that's what we really love about that Hammermill cardstock that we're always talking about. It's just that it is super smooth. All right, so I'm going to just gently, because this is a very dainty sentiment, so I'm just going to gently pull it away from the negative cut here. All right. Get these out of our way. Set this aside. And we're going to finish building our sentiment. I just have to find my little tool, whatever these tools are called, that poke out the little chads from all your dies. Yes, I agree, Anne. The Hammermill cardstock also is very reasonably priced. Hi, Penny. No worries that you're late. As always, it will be available for replay right after I hit the end live stream, so you can catch up on anything you might have missed. And we're just happy that you're here. Okay, so we got all the insides. Oops, taken out here. Now, let's go ahead. I know, pokey tool. I can't think of what else it's called. Just going to add a little bit of liquid glue to the sentiment that I already started, so that you guys wouldn't have to sit and watch me die cut for too many minutes, because I know that tends to get a little boring. And we're just going to finish this up. Oh, I'm glad you liked that, Linda. It's definitely a fun use, and just fun use of your foils, and just another fun use for the solid plate, for sure. Okay. This is quite a dainty sentiment, so I'm taking my time to make sure I line it up well with the cuts I already made. And now we have a fun gold sentiment that also has that rainbow iridescent finish to it. All right, finally, I did die cut something else off camera as well. I'm also going to use the brand new Floral Tiles Coverplate die as my background. We're going to do it in red because I'm going to pop these up off of it. And so I thought having some bold colors in the background would be super fun. So if you are new to our Coverplate dies, I wanted to just show you a fun feature about them. So we don't put a cutting line around the edge of most of our Coverplate dies. I think one of them has the edge. And the reason being for that is so that you can use this on any size paper panel that you want. So if you want to make a slimline card or a 5x7 or a mini slimline, or if you want to use it on a memory keeping project, it just makes it more versatile not having that cut line. So you can use it in lots of different ways. So I already pre-cut that. This is what it looks like on the cardstock. It's just a nice subtle design that will be in my background. And my solid plate is cool enough so I can go ahead and get it off my desk so that my desk space is a little bit cleaner. And I need to fold my card base, but I gotta grab my score tool. So give me 1 second here. It's you have things tucked away when you are crafting remotely in a space you're not used to. And normally these are things that I just have handy and ready to grab. I had to kind of move some stuff around to get to this. So I'm just going to score my white card base at 5.5. I'm just making a standard top folding A2 sized card base. You could also do this from the matching red if you would prefer it to match. But what I like about putting the colored background on top of a white card base is that when you go to send it to someone, it's easier to write a message on a white card base than it is on a red card base. So that is why I choose to do it this way. All right. So Rose, when I peeled away, whenever you do any foiling, especially solid foiling, so both of these pieces, there is always release paper that you need to release in order for the foiling to be correct. So what you saw me pull away was just the release paper from the foiling, so that what you have left over is just foiled paper. It doesn't have that plastic release paper on it. So hopefully I explained that well enough. All right, so I'm just going to use some liquid glue to glue down this fun background to my card base here. My little Cocker Spaniel is outside barking, so she may make her presence known here in a minute. We'll see. She often makes an appearance in my lives via her barks. Ooh, got a little bit of glue on my desk. Let me get that wiped up here. Oh, thanks, Kathy. I appreciate that. Cindy, I know that the cover plates, a lot of them did sell out quite quickly. So definitely sign up for a restock notification on the ones you're wanting, because I'm sure they are on reorder. And whenever we add inventory from when we get restock, we send our website sends out an email to everyone that signed up for that restock notification to let you know it's back in stock. So Jennifer, when I did the initial stars, I did not have to remove any release paper, because that release paper is what kept the negative piece intact. So they kind of removed themselves from the release paper is probably the best way that I can explain that. You really only have to remove release paper when you're doing the reverse foiling with the negative piece that's left over. All right, so I know I'm going to pop up all of these stars with some foam tape. So you're going to go ahead and we are going to work on that now. I know that this part gets to be a little bit tedious, so I will read comments and such while I'm doing. Oh, thank you, Rebecca. Appreciate that. Penny. So there's always a release paper on foil. Yes, there is. The foil is essentially, I don't know what word to use, attached to it. That's what allows you to put it in the roll, and it makes it so it doesn't disintegrate. I'm assuming that's an assumption, but it keeps it in place until you actually use heat to transfer it to whatever paper source that you're transferring it to. But when you're doing the regular images, you don't have to remove that release paper. It's only when she's out there barking. It's only when you're using the solid plate to foil the reverse image, that is when you have to remove that release paper. Yes, Penny, exactly. You take that release paper off of anything that you use the solid foil plate to do the reverse foiling for. It's like a backing. Oh, and it looks like someone that. And I think that if you watch the replay and you watch me remove that really after the live stream, that you will maybe be able to better see what I mean by that. Okay. Absolutely. Hopefully that all made sense. This does not want to stick, so I'm going to just cut it off. Piece of foam just did not want to stick. Thanks, Cindy. I appreciate that. It is kind of hard to explain, for sure. Missy, she's being kind of loud. All right, hopefully getting the foam tape added to the stars won't take me too much longer. So Jocelyn, these thin foam strips are already thin. They come this way. I just get them on Amazon. They're not branded or anything. I think if you just search on Amazon thin foam strips, they pop up. I think they come in packs of like 1,000 or 500 or something like that. So they're already thin like this. I just have to peel them off like that. It's just cutting them down to fit within the confines of my little stars here that I have to do. And for that, I'm just using a pair of non-stick scissors. Okay, so we should be good to pop all of our stars up here. Yep, they come with us everywhere, Roxanne. All right, so let's go ahead and get all of our stars stuck down here. Hi, Kirsty. So glad you could join us. Now for the last little bit. And of course, once I hit the end live stream, the replay will be available right after. Oh, good to hear, Renee. Oh, hi, Allie. Welcome. Love to hear that you're here for your first time. Okay, so I want the rainbow to be in the right order. So I'm starting with the red at the top, and then you get to like the purplish pink down at the bottom. I'm just gonna I'm not gonna center because I know I want to put the sentiment down at the bottom here. So I'm going to use fun. I'm going to use that floral tile background to help me make sure that this is nice and centered on my bird, which I kind of love about these backgrounds as well. It helps you really uh, line up stuff like this. Oh, hey, Lori, the stars are so much fun. And Heather found a way that you can tuck flowers into it. And I kind of did my own version of that I haven't posted yet, which I will be soon. There's lots of great examples using the stars. They're fun for shakers. I didn't bring any of the right material with me to create a shaker card, or I might have done that today, but the stars are super fun. Oh, Penny. I pack way too much stuff, to be honest, but I have a couple of totes that I put all of my things, my tools and stuff that I need in, and then I just grab my plastic bins that my product are in, and we just kind of fill in areas all around the car with that. It still is always way too much stuff, but I have a hard time. Yes, my husband does a great job packing the car, so I can bring so much stuff with me. So I'm looking at this with the vellum underneath the sentiment, and I feel like it doesn't pop very well. So, oh, but that's actually kind of nice. But I feel like I might put a piece of white underneath that. We have time, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and try it out. If I don't like it, we'll nix it. But I think I'm going to cut that shadow layer from some white cardstock as well and see if it makes the sentiment pop a little bit better than it currently is off that red background. All right, I just need to find some white cardstock. I'm gonna just actually see if this might be big enough here. Don't think it is actually, but I thought I would at least try. It's not. Okay. All right. Well, bear with me 1 second while I grab one more piece of cardstock here. All right, and let's see if the sentiment pops a little bit better. This down and we'll run it through my machine real quick. All right. Thanks, Debbie. I'm happy to hear that. All right, so let's see if I like this better. Yes, I certainly do. Okay, I'm glad we had some extra time to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and just add some glue in the area where the actual script word is, and hopefully it won't seep out too much, but even if it does, it dries clear, so not a big deal. And the vellum, since the vellum is already attached, it kind of subdues that white a little bit as well. but it definitely pops a little bit better off the card with the white. Thanks, friends. I appreciate it. Okay. Yeah, that looks about 1,000 times better. I still think I like it down at the bottom here. All right, let's grab foam tape one more time. The good thing about that white background is it's a little bit easier now to add foam tape to the back because I'm not having to try to make sure it's only underneath those scripted letters. All right, get a little bit on the C here. Thanks, friends. I agree. The white in the background of that looks much better. All right. Let's remove this release paper here. Okay. And I think we're going to just put this. This is a relatively simple card today. I don't think. Yeah, I like it down at the bottom of the stars. Or do I? So you know what? I think I kind of like it like this. There we go. You can still see enough of the rainbow. All right, and for today, since because we have so many colors, I think I'm just going to go with some of our Glacier white jewels. These are in our Essentials Jewels mix. And I think that these will be nice subtle accents, just because there is a lot of color going on this card right now. And I'm just going to do a couple trios here and there. Tends to be how I embellish cards. If they have flowers, a lot of times I'll embellish the centers of the flowers with jewels. But oftentimes I'm also just making nice little trios. Just looking for one more bigger jewel in here. There's one. Oops. Maybe. All right, I have to dig. Okay, and then let's put this trio down here. Okay. Honest truth, when all is said and done with this card, I'm a secondary stamped sentiment to go with the celebrate. I just don't really have that readily available right this second. So if I do it, it will be after the fact. And you can just, once I post it to Instagram, you'll see I haven't decided for sure if I'll do that. But I do feel like a little secondary sentiment might look nice at the bottom. I just don't have all of that stuff readily available to be able to do right this second. friends. All right. Yeah, this is the Studio Katia embellishment tool. There's a lot of different options out there for embellishment tools, so that just happens to be the one that I use most often. And there is our fun rainbow card. I think that turned out super fun. All right, give me a second while I kind of change my desk space around here and get it switched back over to my front facing. All right. Oopsies. Okay. Well, thanks for joining me today, friends. I had a great time. Oh, thank you. Very kind comments about my card. I appreciate that. Definitely a very simple card, but fun. Lots of rainbow going on. And then soon, here quickly, Heather will randomly pick our $15 gift card code winner. And then you guys are free to move on with the rest of your day. I agree, this would be really fun for 4th of July, especially if you changed out the foil colors. Maybe you did them in all blue or blue and silver with the red background. Pardon me. Okay, looks like we have one winner. Congratulations to Cindy Coney. You have won today's $15 gift card code. All you have to do to claim your prize is email me. My email is leah@pinkfreshstudio.com. There's no H on the end of my name, so it's just LEA@pinkfreshstudio.com. And give me about 2 to 3 business days to get that gift card code over to you. All right. Well, that's everything I have for you today, guys. Thanks for joining me. I had a great time. I hope you enjoyed the rainbow foiling and a little bit of work with the solid hot foil plate. So our live schedule this week, we have Heather will be live on Facebook at 12 noon Central Time on Thursday. And she will have to let you know in the comments. I am unsure if we have a scrapbooking live on Friday with Natalie or not. So Heather, I'm sure, will let us know here in just a minute if we do. Other than that, friends, I think that is everything that I have for you. Once again, the products I used today are all linked in the video description. So if there's something you are interested in grabbing, you can find a quick link there. And that is, I'm just waiting to see if Heather has an answer about live. And then I will let you guys go. Thanks, friends. Oh, I appreciate that, Renee. Okay, yes, okay, now we have confirmation. There is no scrapbook live this week. So our final live for the week will be Thursday with Heather for Facebook Live at 12 noon Central. All right, friends, that's everything that I have for you. I hope you have a great rest of your Thursday. Talk to you later. Tuesday. Oh, yeah, it is Tuesday.